Hey everyone, welcome to the Self-Awareness Journey podcast. I'm Melissa Albers.
And I'm JJ Parker. This podcast is for seekers of happiness, joy, and a centered approach to success in life. Seekers of their true, authentic selves.
Get ready for some real talk on everything from anxiety, emotions, and habits to love, compassion, and forgiveness. We know you'll be challenged and enlightened by this conversation, and we're so glad you're here. Let's dive in.
All right, Melissa. I was hanging out with my friend Johan this weekend.
Yes.
And
Johan.
He's kind of like one of my business friends,
Right.
you know, like I don't hang out with him really outside businessy stuff,
Yeah.
but he's in my
It's more of a colleague.
CEO round table, you know.
Yeah.
He's a quirky guy.
He is quirky. God bless
In the
him.
best way.
He's the
like
king of quirk.
So we were talking about like life and just like our business pursuits and things like that. And he started in with this story. And so I wanted to like recount this story with you and then kind of explore what he was talking about because I thought it was really interesting. So he goes, hey, when I was in fourth grade, and he grew up in Sweden.
Right.
So
That's right. Yes. Yes.
like when I was in fourth grade, we had a fish tank in our classroom. And there was like a northern in the fish tank.
Yep.
And it was, it wasn't a super big fish tank. And it was like northern that was like 4 inches long. It was like kind of a small fish in the fish tank.
Yep.
And he's like, but
It's a funny fish to choose in a room. I mean, they have teeth.
I don't know.
Okay, besides that. Anyway, moving on.
But he goes, but that same fish had been in that fish tank for like a couple of years while I'd been going to elementary school.
Oh, interesting.
And he goes, I was out fishing in the lake and I caught a northern. And I was really excited about it. But the northern I caught was like 18 inches long. It was giant. Mm-hmm. And so he goes, I went to my science teacher and said, like, why is the northern in our fish tank so much smaller than the northern I caught out of the lake? And the teacher said that fish adapt to their environment.
Yes.
So if they have a small space, they will stay small. If they have a big space, they will become bigger. And I thought that was like a really interesting premise. And this statement from his fourth grade teacher has stuck with this guy like his entire life. It's like the basis for everything that he does.
How
and he had example after example about how he applied this in his career, like in his personal life. It was really amazing.
That is amazing. And by the way, an 18-inch northern is actually kind of tiny still.
Okay. I maybe got the size wrong. Yeah, you're a fishing pro, so I should have maybe sharpened up my examples.
No pun intended. No, I think this is true because I think we all do this, whether we're consciously aware of it or not. Did he give you any specific stories worth talking through? I mean, I can, as soon as you start talking like that, I just immediately start putting a frame of reference around that I can 100% agree with you on.
Well, what I started thinking about initially was like just my observations of nature.
Oh.
And like when we go up north, like maybe to Boundary Waters or Canada, one of the things I just actually kind of notice is that the squirrels are smaller.
Yeah.
Right? Their environment doesn't let them get very big. And there's all sorts of animals out in the wild that you would notice are bigger or smaller based on their environment, or they have adapted in some way for advantages in that environment, right?
Yeah.
Like in Minnesota, our snakes aren't very big. You go down south, they're very big.
Nope ropes. I don't call them snakes. Those are nope ropes. I'm very happy that they don't get 10 feet long and they're curled around your hose.
Even like our insects, I'd say like things in the northern climate tend to be a lot smaller than things in the southern climate that can grow, all year long, whereas ours don't make it over the winter.
Right. Let's talk about people.
People are part of nature. Did you know that? Did you know that we're of nature too?
Yes, I did know that. Whoa, this is going to be very deep. I can feel the conversation brewing.
I only say that because I love to continually point out that, like, we are also animals just like everything else on the planet.
Yeah,
Where
yes.
sometimes we like to disassociate ourselves.
And think we're special.
And think we're so much more special.
Yeah.
But
And we have so much more control.
Yeah, but we are still mammals just like all the other mammals.
Do you know what I heard this morning? Not to get us off topic, but I think this is the greatest line ever. I heard you have one life. You should do whatever you can with it because life was conceived. It's what they say, a sexually transmitted disease that is fatal.
That's funny.
And I was like, what? But the point is, you're going to have the same amount that you, whether you think about it or not, you might as well play all out, right?
Yeah.
It's like, that is so funny. Oh, sexually transmitted disease that's fatal. Anyway, yes, I totally agree with you. And I think there are many examples from the time we're really young where we shrink or expand according to our environment.
Yeah.
How many people do you think are conscious of that?
I don't know. One of the other things I wanted to just kind of call out right away is you said shrink or expand.
Yeah.
And right away, I kind of think like, shrink is a negative thing. But I think in some situations, the shrink, or actually it's more like energy conservation, could be a good thing.
100%.
So I don't want to like
I 100% agree
judge.
with you.
Like I don't want this to be a like.
Oh, no, yeah, I agree.
Only growth is the acceptable answer, right?
Oh,
Because I
yeah.
think there are times where you actually maybe do need to retract on some things.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I agree. You know, as we're talking, it also makes me realize that we're talking about a bunch of different things in this. As we're talking about humans as a singular, it's a lot more complex than that. Because you could think about the human condition of being energetic, like we were just talking now, making your energy big or small. You can talk about your intellect. You can talk about your ego. You know, like you can talk about your growth, your personal growth. So, wow, when you think about it like that, I don't think we'd ever be able to get through all of this topic in one discussion. I don't.
Agreed. Okay. So, specifically about people.
Yeah.
You said a bunch of things like intellect, ego. Did you say physical?
No, I said, although that's true too, isn't it?
Well,
No, I said ego, energy.
Energy,
Oh,
yeah.
I did say growth. No, I did say growth. And then meaning it could be your physical growth, but it also could be your mental growth. It could be your business acumen, your work growth. I mean, it could be a lot of stuff around that.
Well, I'm going to use a physical growth analogy to tee up what I think about all of this mental stuff.
Okay.
If you're working out and trying to like get stronger, you have to go to the gym and you have to lift heavy weights and you have to continually do that as you build your physical strength.
Yeah.
If you stop doing that, your body's just going to lose that muscle mass and go back to
It's
only
original.
what you need, right? I think our bodies are really adept. And the example of all of these animals is what they're doing is they're just trying to adapt themselves to the minimum requirement of their environment.
Yeah, that's well said.
Humans are doing the same thing. So like if we work out, we can get stronger. If we stop, we just go back because our body's like, hey, we don't need all of this muscle mass. It's really hard to keep all this muscle mass. We have to eat a lot of food and we have to find a lot of food and like we might as well get rid of it. If it's not serving us anymore, right? That's the whole key. Is your body is so good at shedding things that are not serving you anymore.
Yeah.
And your brain works the same way.
What about, hang on, before you go to the brain thing,
Yeah.
what about the physicality of aging? Because you start thinking about what gets smaller as you age, and absolutely everything does. People shrink in height, their bone mass, their just all sorts of things like that get smaller as you
don't need
age
it anymore.
because
you
you
eat
don't
less. right? You eat a lot less usually when you're older.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
That's true. Okay, I'm ready to talk about the brain thing now.
Yeah, so then if you flip to the brain thing, I do think and we hear this story in older adults too, right? Like one of the declines in health for older people is when they stop using their brain.
Right.
Right? They retire, then they stop doing things, and they don't exercise that muscle as much, and they kind of start to lose it.
Yeah. Yeah, either through dementia or through just general forgetfulness. Yeah.
And certainly in our work, like self-awareness and emotional intelligence, I think those things you might be able to lose too if you don't maybe
use them.
exercise them enough. Yep. That's why I'm over here always whipping up like super amounts of drama just to make sure we're like hitting those peaks and valleys.
How much of this do you think is conscious versus subconscious? Like if you take a situation, we're talking right now about things that you can control, but not some of it you can't, right? We're talking a lot about that. We're talking about like you're in your environment and you subconsciously are doing what you do to be in that environment with taking the least amount of effort. Okay? How much of that is subconscious versus conscious? In other words,
that's a great question. I mean, I think what you're kind of getting to is like, if I'm a fish in my small fish tank, I'm probably pretty comfortable. I know where the walls are. I know where to swim around. It fits me. It's comfortable, right? It's like that old sweater that you put on when you're feeling sad. It's that one.
Oh my gosh, I have one of those. It's yellow. It was my grandma's.
But when your environment changes and you have to be in a much bigger fish tank, or if we took that little fish and threw him in the lake,
exactly,
that's probably really uncomfortable.
So what does an animal or a fish or a human do when suddenly they're plucked out of the environment that they're really used to and they're thrown in something big? Like, how do you think the typical human reacts to that?
That's a good question. Like, some might try to get back to that comfort. Some might lean into that new challenge. One thing I specifically asked Johan, I was like, because he said, hey, through my career, I've constantly been trying to be the small fish in the bigger pond.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, Johan, what if we threw you, like, what happens if you go from your fish tank to the ocean? You're just going to get eaten by another fish right away.
In about 30 seconds.
And he's like, what? He goes, I try to make not that big of a leap every time.
Okay, so he's inferring that he has full control over it. That's what that inference is.
He is inferring that. He was talking about how he purposely puts himself in situations where he is the small fish and he's uncomfortable. Not in too big of a pond, but always a bigger pond.
So, you know what I find interesting is you start looking at this. There are many examples starting back from when we're very young where this is a thing. If you think about you are your size in your family unit up until you go to school. And then you go to kindergarten and it's a certain size, or you go to Head Start or preschool, it's a certain size. You go 1 through 5, or you go till you're turning into a junior high person or a middle school person, and then suddenly, oftentimes, you're merging with a bunch of other kids from other places, and it's a bigger environment. And I think right there is where a lot of people's personalities are formed, and their reactions and responses to pressures are impacted by how big they are according to that environment.
Oh, yeah. And those points of transition.
Yeah, the huge points of transition.
How did those transitions go for you?
Right.
When you moved from one to the other?
And in some situations, what if you leave the school district that you were in and went to a much bigger one? What if you decided from a small high school that you want to go to a university, like a Big Ten or something like that? How many times have you seen, because I've seen it lots and lots of times with my kids and my kids' friends, where they are making these leaps and they are purposefully stretching themselves, really excited about the unknown. But once they get to that unknown, they're absolutely drowning in the water because it's so much bigger than they ever realized. Yeah. And if you've built your success, if you've built your ego balance based on how big you can be in your pond, and then suddenly you're thrust into something that is so unknown to you and so large, it can be very, very jarring. And I think the same applies for grown-ups.
Yeah, like if you go, maybe you move careers from a small company to a big company,
Yep.
that's going to be a very different environment. Even vice versa, actually, we're actually very conscious of people who are going from a big company down to our small company. 'Cause
Same.
it's such a culture difference.
But again, they're used to operating in a certain water system that has. I remember years ago when, I mean, this is quite a long time ago, maybe 10 years or maybe more, but Best Buy, based in Minneapolis here, did a huge layoff, and it was in all of its operations. And suddenly, all of these lifers, these Best Buy lifers that were all VP titles and higher, were in the channel, and they didn't know how to network. They didn't know how to work with other people. They knew Best Buy and its system really well, and they had a real false sense of security and self-worth. I mean, no disrespect by this, because they had been really lauded for understanding that waterway. They understood the Best Buy waterway better than anybody else, and they had really thrived in it until that waterway dried up.
Yeah, even though that was a pretty big fish tank.
Yeah, it was a huge fish tank.
But it was still just in that fish tank.
Yeah, so anybody that had a title that had operations attached to it immediately started flooding the interview system and flooding all the open roles, looking for manufacturing roles, looking for places that also had the word operations in it, which, by the way, there's nothing the same. Like, very few things are the same in that.
Yeah.
So here they get plunked into a different tank, and they don't even know how to swim. You know, never mind the fact that they've lived in water their whole lives.
So that sounds scary. That doesn't make me want to switch fish tanks. What?
It's all about awareness, though. You know, this is our big adventure. This is your great big adventure. Playing it safe. I don't think you're ever going to be on your deathbed and go, oh, my God, thank God I played it safe.
Yeah. This kind of fits in with what we've talked about before. My tennis analogy is I always want to be the worst player on the court.
Oh, yeah. That's another
it's the
great
same
example.
kind of mindset. Like, I just want to learn from those other players. And if I'm the best player on the court, I'm just not really learning a lot.
Yeah.
Might be winning a lot, but
which
not
is fun.
Learning a lot.
I'm just teasing. Well, sort of. I'm teasing.
Been on a little losing streak lately, so can we not talk about that?
Oh, sure. We can definitely keep moving. I think though.
So the one thing. Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go.
Okay, this idea of like moving like to bigger fish tanks or bigger ponds, I think is an interesting conversation where, like, one of the things in that kind of presumes growth, right? Like we're going to move somewhere else. We're going to, we're going to change our environment, whether that's like our job,
sure,
where
get
we
a new
work,
job, new boss or whatever.
Even different relationships, right? Right. We're going to change that, and that will be an opportunity for growth, right? It also can be some opportunity for a little bit of like trauma.
Yeah,
I mean, even
so.
dealing with the initial change can cause some disruption.
Yeah.
But then I was wondering about the kind of the opposite, like go back to where it feels a little safe. Not in a like retreat from growth way.
Yeah.
But from a like a where would I go to like
mastery.
Recoup energy. Right? Where do I go almost as a break before I try another adventure?
Oh, that's such a great thing. Well, don't you feel like there's a level of mastery that we all are capable of in our own rights? You know, whatever that is, whether it's leading teams, whether it's being a good coworker, whether it's being a great technical writer, whatever it is, you have a level of mastery that you've worked pretty hard at, and maybe you had natural abilities to make it easier for you to get good at that.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, sometimes we do need to go to what we are good at because it does refresh. It can be very refreshing.
How many times have you seen this? How many times at work have you seen a newly appointed manager, or even maybe an oldly appointed manager, retreat to like individual contributor work?
Because it's easier.
Because it's easy. Because I know they can do it perfect.
Yeah.
It brings them a lot of joy.
Yeah.
And it's like their safe space.
Yeah. I agree. I also think, this idea that something has to be right or wrong, it's such a human condition for us to do that. It's like anytime you're going to make a move or you feel like you need some sort of refreshing or you just want to feel good and you're not feeling good in your role. So often we make ourselves wrong for wanting to do that. And I feel sad about that because, your soul knows what you're doing. You can feel in your guts when something is right for you. And sometimes we feel like, oh, if this is easy for us, then I must not be trying hard. And I think that that's a fallacy. I think sometimes we make ourselves like, oh, yeah, I'm really, really good at this, but that would be a cop-out if I did that. And if it's really, truly something that you're good at and you feel good doing it and it's easy for you, that may actually be a wonderful place for you.
It's like where you fit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And this is not to say don't stretch yourself. So, I mean, if there's some feeling in your heart that says this is really, really easy for me and I'm bored, and I'm not with the right people, and I don't really like this boss, but I love this job, or I love this or that. I mean, if there's that little hang up, well, then maybe you're not in the right body of water again. But it doesn't mean that you have to make yourself wrong for it or guilty or stay there out of false loyalty or whatever,
Yeah. It's, we've seen it too. I work too, like where it's like sometimes people get promoted. Yeah. And then realize like, oh, this is actually not for me, even though it seemed like I was supposed to be climbing this ladder. Yeah. I don't like it. I don't like that one. I don't like that rung. But having the courage to say, actually, that wasn't for me, and I'd like to just go back to what I was doing before. Yeah, actually, I agree. Takes a lot of courage.
I agree. And sometimes, like if you talk about just even the size of something, we're using body of water as our metaphor today, but energetically, or the size of a company, or the size of the project, or what have you, even switching into something similar sized can still cause like a huge ruckus at first if the current is different. If suddenly, it's a 10 by 10, but there's rapids here. Like, what is this all about? The deadlines are so different. The people are so different. The culture's so different. Everyone dresses so, I don't understand this culture. Like, I think all of that is something really interesting too. And I think that's where your ego hops in and starts to make you wrong. Right? It's like the ego wants to be in charge. The ego says, I'm going to nail this, man. I got this. I'm going to come in and I've been in this role for 10 years over here. Now I'm going to switch to the same role, but I'm going to look totally cool. I'm going to get out. I'm going to jump off the gates already at this level and be super lauded for it. 'Cause that's all that ego business, right? And then sometimes it's like, oh, actually, that's not how this works either. So here I thought it looked pretty like I was going to be able to lock and load, and I can't. And what does that mean?
Yeah. Yeah, there's I know your favorite phrase is fake it till you make it.
Oh, I hate that phrase so much.
And sometimes in work we call it level skipping, right? It's just like where someone somehow got into a point where they actually moved into too big of a fish tank too quickly. And they didn't get the steps. They didn't get the experience along the way. Yeah. Whereas that's kind of where that fake it till you make it comes up. Like I
have a question.
I'm going to be the CEO, but I'm just going to fake it till I make it.
I work on the dock right now. I'm going to be the CEO in February.
Hey, watch yourself because that is totally what I did. Art school
but not in the same year.
CEO.
Not in the same year. I have a question.
Yeah.
So let's just say that somebody skipped a level, as you say, or they faked it till they made it, and they ended up in a way bigger pond than they realized, and they felt this really big burning urge to shrink into the weeds and hide.
There's sharks all over the place, and crocodiles.
Can you come back? Can the human spirit make up for that? Or do you think it's a natural thing for the human spirit to shrink back and dive out?
It's such an ego thing. I have seen people blow up their entire lives to not have to face
look bad.
The idea that they moved up too fast too quickly and they should just go back.
Oh. Actually, I have too, now that you say that.
I think it's really hard for for your ego to say, what I thought I wanted wasn't actually for me, and I'm actually not very good at it, and I just want to go back to the thing that I'm really good at.
Yeah. Yeah. So it is interesting to think about how the ego plays with this idea of small fish, big fish. And when you decide you're big enough, like, how much plankton do you eat? Like, when do you say, this feels good. Like, I'm here, man. I don't need to get any bigger.
I see a lot of people who have that mindset.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've got people at our company
that's really
that
healthy, actually.
are really settled into their careers. They are really great at their jobs, and they just like doing their jobs. And it's not like
yeah.
And
I guess
it's like, actually, my question here would be like, are you satisfied?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like there is a whole cultural thing. I don't know if it's just really wrapped around like my circle, or if this is a broader American thing or global thing, but this idea that like you always have to be growing, and if you're not growing,
you're dying. That's what they say.
Yep. And so that is so imprinted into my brain.
Yeah, same.
That it's really hard for me to not be acting like that. But I don't have to be acting like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's like one of those things, like I do stuff for growth reasons, but really for no reason. Yeah. With really not great results. So
I also think everything is seasonal. We have all these different seasons in our lives, and sometimes the growth season is around work. But sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's like, you know what? I feel so good in my job. I know exactly what I need to do to be good at it. And then I have the rest of my life to go and explore all of these other things that I love.
If you can be get better at. Stable at work, then you can apply your growth personally, or to your family, or to your friends, which is great.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe, I'm not just giving anyone career advice here, but like,
aren't we?
No, please don't follow my advice. I'm just guessing.
Mine too.
But the idea that you would just be satisfied and stable in your career, so you can work on things outside of work, I think is important. I think we have this like magnifying glass on the thing, is like that we should be getting better at our vocation. Well, you don't have to be doing that.
Not your whole life until the day you die. You sure do not.
Right.
I agree. This is a really interesting conversation, and it makes me just kind of wonder if there's been areas where I've been playing in little ponds or big ponds that maybe I don't. You know what? It takes a lot of work to keep an equilibrium in a big pond. Yeah. It takes a lot of work.
A lot of energy.
And a lot of energy, and swimming upstream sometimes, and going against a lot of things, and choosing. And some of them, sometimes it's really, really nice to figure out exactly the stream that you love. And I just think it's a really interesting reflection.
Love that.
No pun intended. Oh, we're just full of it today.
Did you enjoy this episode? Please go to your favorite podcast platform to subscribe, rate, and leave a review so others can discover it as well. Growing self-awareness is a lifelong journey, and it's better when we're all in it together. Please think of someone you know who could benefit from hearing today's conversation, and share this episode with them.
We can't thank you enough for listening. Until next time, happy exploring.